Okay, welcome to lesson 4 for Math 13X. This is about intervals. So the last one, we basically drew the intervals, and now we're given the interval saying that it goes from 4 to 12. So find the distance between the endpoints. So I can also illustrate this by drawing and saying, so the interval is going from 4 to 12. So here's the 4, here's the 12. And technically this would have a round parenthesis and a round parenthesis because these two do not have equals. And then find the distance between the endpoints. So to find the distance between these two, you just subtract the bigger minus the smaller, or the right minus the left. So 12 minus 4, that is 8. So find the distance between the endpoints, that's 8. Then find the midpoint. So in order to find out what's in the middle of two numbers, then you just add them together and divide by 2. So this one is going to be 12 plus 4, and then divide by 2. So 12 plus 4 is 16, divided by 2, that's going to be 8. It's only coincidence that that's 8 and that's 8. I do want to show you this on the calculator because when you use the calculator, and if you just go, let me clear this out, if you just go 12 plus 4 divided by 2 equals 8, no, it equals 14. That's because when you do this on the calculator, you need to put parentheses around the 12 plus 4. And the parentheses are right here. So what I really should have done is parentheses 12 plus 4 parentheses divided by 2, and now it should equal 8. Yes, okay. So that is the midpoint. And then find the distance from either endpoint to the midpoint. So in other words, what's the distance between these two? So you just take the number on the right minus the number on the left. 8 minus 4 is 4. You could have also done it on this side and say from this endpoint to the middle would be 12 minus 8. And 12 minus 8 is the same answer, 4. Okay, then on to the next one. And it's basically the same thing, but now there's decimals. So this is going from 24.3 to 43.6. So later in this class, we make what are called confidence intervals. So we would make an interval like this, and basically this is practicing the ideas of it before we actually do the confidence intervals ourselves. So we're given the interval and then identifying all the pieces of it. So find the distance between the endpoints. So that would be the bigger number, or the number on the right, minus the number on the left, and 43.6 minus 24.3 is a 19.3. So that is part A, 19.3. Then find the midpoint. So in other words, what's in the middle? So I add these together and then divide by 2. So take a 43.6 plus a 24.3 and divide by 2. And this time I'm going to make sure that I use the parentheses. So use the parenthesis, and 43.6 plus 24.3 paren divided by 2. So that would be 33 33.95 is what's in the middle. $33.95. And then find the distance between either endpoint and the midpoint. So again, that is where I get a red pen and go find the distance between this one and this one. So that means just subtract them. So 33.95 minus 24.3. 33.95 minus 24.3. And that's 9.65. Now I can check my answer because if I take this one minus this one, because this is in the middle, I should get the same answer. So 43.6 minus the middle number, 33.95, and I should get the same answer, 9.65 each time. So this is 9.65, and just so that it looks complete, this is 9.65. Okay, then one more question. So this one looks sort of long, but basically this is where confidence intervals come from, even though we haven't covered that yet, but we're just doing the basics of it. So whenever you measure something, there's going to be some error. So if you wanted to measure how long this pen is, you're not going to be able to get it exact. It's going to be off by a little bit. That's what that's saying. So understanding the nature and the size of the error is important. In statistics, E is going to be the error. Suppose the average number of minutes that a student spent online for college students is 210 minutes. So I got this problem from somewhere else. I have absolutely no idea if that's true or not. But they're saying that the average, and I'm just going to abbreviate it as average, equals 210 minutes. And then the average could have an error of 14 minutes in either direction. So in other words, the error could be plus or minus 14. And then what we do is we add and subtract that error. So it's going to be the average 210 and then plus and minus the 14. And then for part B, we'll do the same thing, the average plus or minus 2 times the error, and then with 3 times the error. So for part A, it's going to be take 210 plus the error of 14, and then also do 210 minus the error of 14. So a 210 plus a 14 and a 210 minus a 14. So it could be, let me put it on this side so I can write. So it can be as high as 224 minutes a day, or maybe as low as 196 minutes a day. And to relate it back to what we were doing before, and also what we'll be doing in the future, is we would then say, well, the average goes in the middle, 210, and then you make an interval that goes from the small number, 196, to the bigger number, 224. All right, now do the same thing, except this one is going to have 2 times 14, so 2 times the error. So for part B, it's the 210 plus 2 times 14, and then take the 210 minus 2 times 14. So let me clear some of this out. So 210 plus 2 times 14. And then also go 210 minus 2 times 14. So on the high side, it could be as much as 238, and on the low side, down to 182. And then that would make the interval bigger like this. The average of 210 would still be in the middle, but on the low side, it might be down to 182, and on the high side, it might be up to 238. And then one more. What if it's 3 times the error? So then for part C, take the 210 plus 3 times 14 and the 210 minus 3 times 14. So 210 plus 3 times 14, and then 210 minus 3 times 14. So now the bigger number is up to 252, and the smaller is down to 168. And then I can't quite fit it in here because then the interval gets even bigger, so it goes from 168. So the 210 is the average, so that's still in the middle. And then this would be the smaller, could be as low as 168 or as high as 252.